So I know I've talked to you guys about this before, even maybe last season, but I've got a tip for you today that is going to help you if you are going to be living on a sailboat and depending on solar power. And we are getting to that time of year again when the sun shifts from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere, which means it shifts across the boat from the starboard side to the port side. And that puts a lot of shading from that guy right there. So stick around because that's going to be today's tip. Good morning, guys and gals. Just before we start today's solar tips, I thought you guys might enjoy a little peek of what it looks like around Sophisticated Lady on a typical morning about 7 a.m. as the sun is just coming up. So enjoy a couple minutes of chill time and then we'll get started. Hey, and here comes our new table. We'll get started shortly, but right now the new table's arriving. Cool. That's a big piece of solid teak.
Guys, somebody help me.
Here, Rick, you get that, please.
Please, stick it here.
Look at that. That is a nice piece of teak. Wow. Muy bien. Muy bien, Freddy.
Buenos días.
Buenos dias. Tiki's like, what's going on? Whoa, you having a good dessert? Tiki having a good dessert? Yes, good girl.
Strawberry smoothie this morning for breakfast.
Pretty girl. You got strawberry smoothie. Yum. Hey, Tiki. Good girl. Okay, so what I was starting to explain earlier is that we are now entering the time of year, it's early May, where the sun is starting to cross from the southern hemisphere into the northern hemisphere. And of course you can see our bow is always pointed east here because the wind is coming from the east. So that presents the problem that as the boat is pointed east and the sun rises in the east, you can see that it's going straight through our mast. And this is what's causing the issue. Because if you look over at the solar panels, you can immediately see that there are shadows all over the place. And as the boat's coming back this way again, now you can see that the mast shadow is going through this panel and that panel and the one at the back, and those are our three most powerful panels. And when you put shadows through these panels, you effectively interrupt the flow of electrons through the cells, because the cells can only transmit power through open circuits, and if there's one charged and one not charged, that interrupts the flow of the cells. So now you can see it's all shifted to this side, and that's cut off that side of the panels now, but these are in series together, those are in series, and those at the back are in series. So as soon as you interrupt the flow in one panel, it interrupts the flow to all the panels. So you can understand where this guy is a big concern when you live on a sailboat and all of your electricity comes from the sun. We're effectively losing half of our charge current right now just because of the direction our boat is pointed. So the only solution to that, of course, is to redirect the boat. Well, to change that, what we need to do is change the direction that the boat is pointing. And of course, it's always going to be governed by the anchor, but what we can do is change the direction that the boat sits on the anchor by adding an external snubber line. If you remember what I showed you last year, we're going to take an extended snubber line, which is going to be this guy right here. So we got a line that's as long as the boat, at least 50 feet, and we are going to tie that line around the anchor chain and then run it all the way to the back of the boat and cleat it off at the stern cleat. So now it'll be tightly tied between the chain and the stern cleat, and then all we have to do is let out the anchor chain from the bow. As we drop out more chain, the snubber line is going to drop into the water with the chain, and as the snubber line starts to take tension off the chain, the bow will slowly drop off because it's no longer pulling on the chain, but the snubber line is. And the boat will slowly drop down in the wind until it rests, you know, sideways. Now this is not a good idea if you're in a squally area, if you're expecting a lot of high winds or anything like that, because you will put a lot more load on your anchor, so keep that in mind. But right now, we are in optimum conditions. We have tons of sunshine and we have trade winds below 15 knots, so no issues for us whatsoever. We're just going to tilt the boat to about 45 degrees so the wind still funnels down the port side of the boat, and the sun will also be able to focus on all the panels on the port side of the boat because we'll no longer have the mast shading them. So that's all we're going to do, is start by tying off this line to the anchor. So let's go. Okay, so like I said, we're just going to take a line that's at least as long as the boat and get it unfurled here. And the first thing we'll need to do is make sure that it's outside of all the lifelines and comes around the bow of the boat. So we got a clean run. And basically you can just tie a reverse, like a clove hitch or something here around one of the links. Like so. And then when this pulls back on it, it actually puts tension on that so it can't come anywhere. Okay, so we got our snubber run along the outside, around the outside rail. I'm gonna turn on our trusty little remote control here. We're going to let out some chain just to put this in the water. Okay. Now, first thing we got to do is make sure it goes around the outside of our anchor, because we have the second anchor on right now. Okay, finito. So now we have a clean run, and it's attached outside the boat to the anchor chain. So now we're just going to walk this all the way back, keeping it tension because we want to keep it tight so we don't have too much slack when we get back here. It's got to go outside the panels. All right, so I got it around here. I'm just gonna go grab it at the back and pull it all in the boat. Now we pull it tight around the cleat and tie it off. Okay, just like so. I'll tidy that up in a little bit, but now we'll go forward and let the anchor chain off. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the snubber line attached to the chain and it's ready to deploy, except that the chain right now is heading off to our starboard side, so we need for the wind to come back around to the port side before we want to let that go. Otherwise it's going to push this side of the boat down and we don't want that. So we can watch on our wind generator there, and you can see it's still pointing to the starboard side of the boat also, but the boat is shifting. It's starting to come back around, so we need to wait until we got the wind a good amount on the port side, which you can see the wind generator turning there now. And then our chain and snubber should be on the port side, which they are just starting to come around to now. Still a little bit early, but we wait and get it as far over to port as possible. Okay, so it's on port there a little bit now. So turn on our remote. Good. And no. We let out some chain. And hopefully the wind picks up this side of the bow and starts pushing the bow down this way, which it seems to be doing. You can see our chain just down here. And soon we should start to see our snubber line over here. And there it is right there. Okay, so the snubber line is going out here over to the chain. We let out some more chain. And let the bow continue to rotate to starboard off the wind. Which it is doing. So now you can see Miss Astrea is coming up almost on our transom now instead of on our port side. And there is our snubber line starting to take the load from the chain. You can see that's getting more tension on it, and it goes straight down to the chain, and it's starting to pull more than the primary chain up here. That's getting tight again, so we're going to let off a little bit more. Not too much, but that should put us at about 60 degrees off axis now once that settles in. So we wait for the tension to pick up again. As you can see, it's doing there now. And we got the breeze on a good point on our port side. That's perfect. So you can see that going down. And we got our tension over here now. And our bow is pointed over here now. Whereas we used to be pointed up here into the east, just like all the other sailboats. Now we're pointed over towards the government ship right there. The key's right there. And yeah, Miss Astrea is almost dead astern. So that is perfect, exactly where we want to be. Okay, we got our sun back, and as you can see, it is well to the port side of the boat now, so we are no longer getting our shadows cast on the boat. You can follow the shadows of the mast, and it is going well over that direction, way away from the panels. And same thing for all the rigging. So all of the rigging is going straight off the side of the boat now. And if we look up at our panels, we can see that they are all in full sunshine. There's no interruption, and that's it. So now the only thing we have affecting us is clouds, but that's going to happen no matter where we are, when we are. But right now we are in full sun. So let's see what that has done for our power output. Okay, so boot up my app again and let's have a look. Oh wow. Yeah, okay, so look at this now. There's the large panels are outputting 700 watts. The whole network power is 1400 watts. So that is a very, very big improvement, and it's still about 10:30. So we're not much far. We're maybe 15 minutes from when we started, so obviously the sun's a little bit higher in the sky, but we are averaging 1400 watts at just after 10:30. So that is a big, big difference. And if we can do that for 2 or 3 hours per day in the mornings when the sun is the most, casting the most shadows from the mast and the rigging, that's going to add, you know, probably at least 1 to 1.5 kilowatts to our overall daily output. And that's a big difference for us. So it's definitely worth the investment of time just to switch that back and forth. We'll leave it like that until this afternoon, and then we'll just let it go. We'll bring the chain back in and rest back on the anchor like normal again for nighttime. But other than that, that's the tip. How to save some energy just by redirecting your bow in the sun. And as you can see, it makes a huge difference. So we're going to let it sit like that for now, and we'll check in later. Stay tuned for next episode, guys. It promises to be a good one. Hopefully I'll have it finished editing by this weekend. Meantime, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you out there. That's a big remote control helicopter you got there, Danny.
You have good perspective.
Oh, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.